Today we're going to be talking about Jesus feeding the 5,000, but maybe from a little different angle. The specific section that we're going to go through is the John chapter 6 section of this account. And what I want you to do is, if you have a chance, maybe just hit pause on this video and read that section as we're going to talk about the specifics throughout it. So Jesus has gone with his disciples across the Sea of Galilee, and they've gone to a remote place, but because of Jesus' popularity at this time, a crowd of people follow him. They basically run around on the shore and meet him at that other side. And Jesus spends a long time teaching those people at that spot. But there comes a point in the day where it's getting late, people are getting hungry, and they're far away from any place where they're going to be able to get food. And so they're wondering how they're going to feed these people. And so Jesus, he says to Philip, "You feed them." Now, he's testing Philip, and in the book of John, it tells us that Jesus is testing Philip. So what is he testing Philip on? He says, "You feed them." He's testing Philip on Philip's trust or belief in who Jesus is. Jesus has made the connection between him and the Father, that he has been sent from the Father. Philip has seen the miracles of Jesus, and so does Philip trust the power of Jesus? Does Philip say, "Lord, I trust that you can feed them"? No, what Philip does is instead he sees the problem and he sees how big this problem is. How are we going to feed this many people? He thinks of any sort of rational response that he could have to this, and his mind goes instantly to, we don't have enough money to buy food for these people. There's no way for us to get this for them. He can't find a solution because he's not looking to Jesus for a solution. He's going through all of his different responses, all of his different things that he thinks is going to solve this situation. He didn't even think about Jesus. And then on the other hand, you have Andrew, who right after Philip says these things, you have Andrew who says, "Well, I have a boy here who has 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish." But then he expresses doubt about that. And so at first you think, Andrew, wow, this is really commendable. You are bringing up this boy who has 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish, which obviously isn't going to feed this many people, but maybe you're bringing this up because you trust that Jesus can do something with this. Although then he expresses a little bit of doubt. He says, what is this little amount going to do among so many people? Maybe there's still a part of Andrew that believes that Jesus could do something with this, but he still expresses a little bit of doubt here. Well, you know what happens, of course. Jesus has the people sit down in specific groups, and then he thanks the Lord for what he is about to eat, and then he sends the disciples out to distribute the food. And as they distribute, we don't know exactly how this happened, if it multiplied or what, but they never ran out. Everybody who was sitting there had food and ate till they were full, and there were basketfuls left over. It was an amazing miracle that Jesus had fed 5,000 men, and we're assuming that there's women and children out here too, so maybe we're close to 10,000 people that Jesus is feeding with 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish. So it makes you think, what do you think Philip and Andrew were like post miracle? Do you think Philip now asks, when he's faced with a situation, do you think he asks, what can the Lord do here? Before, he wasn't really thinking about the Lord at all, and now he's thinking, the Lord can do anything. What can the Lord do for me here? Do you think that he went to Jesus first with a lot of problems that would come into his life, and then after Jesus ascended into heaven, do you think that Philip went in prayer to God first, saying, what could God do here? Because I have seen what God has done while he is here on earth, and I trust that he can do anything, and that he is the source of abundant blessing. He trusts in God, and he trusts in who Jesus is. How do you think Andrew might have changed? Well, it seems like Andrew still had a little bit of belief at the beginning about what Jesus could do, but expressed some doubt. No doubt, this gave him certainty. This confirmed what Andrew knew. He knew that Jesus was God and that Jesus had the power to make a lot out of a little. And so Andrew wouldn't doubt in the future that the Lord could do wonderful things for him. It kind of reminds me of a passage from James. A passage from James that says, when you pray, believe that the Lord can do what you are asking him to do. But why would you pray otherwise? Why would you pray if you didn't believe that God could actually do what you're asking him to do? Your Lord can do anything. There is nothing impossible for him, for he is the all-powerful God, whose goodness and love surpasses all things. And he's asked you to come to him in prayer. And so when we come to him in prayer, believe that the Lord, if it is his will grant you that prayer, can grant you that prayer, has the power to do so as your loving God. We may still approach situations in life, and our sinful nature may cause us to act like Philip, not thinking about God at all. Or like Andrew, questioning or doubting whether God could do something here. But in those moments, remember this section. Jesus fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish. An amazing miracle. All things are possible